Have you ever been listening to an English conversation and you just can't figure out what they're saying? You understand the individual words, but the overall meaning just doesn't add up? Well, I have some bad news. You have been blowing off phrasal verbs for too long, and it's time to stop. Hi, I'm Vanessa from SpeakEnglishWithVanessa.com, and today you are going to learn one of the most difficult but most important parts of the English language. What's that, you might ask? It's the phrasal verb. What's a phrasal verb? It is a 2 or 3 part verb. Let's take a look at a few that I just used. To figure out, to add up, to blow off. Each of these is a phrasal verb. It has 2 parts. It has a regular verb, and then it has a second part. We could call this a preposition, or you can call this a participle. Sometimes there's also 3 parts, like you'll see in this lesson. And when you use a phrasal verb, it has a different meaning than just using the verb by itself. So let's take a look at that last one. What does it mean to blow something? You go like this, and some dust blows away. But when you blow off something, this is not a good thing. You'll find out what it means in just a minute. So today I'm going to help you expand your vocabulary and expand your English speaking knowledge. Like always, I've created a free PDF worksheet with all of today's expressions, ideas, sample sentences, and you can answer Vanessa's challenge question at the bottom of the free PDF worksheet. So click on the link in the description to download that worksheet today. Never forget what you are about to learn. Let's get started with the first phrasal verb. I'm going to tell you what it is, then tell you a sample sentence, and I want you to guess what the meaning is because I will tell you the meaning last, like a little test. Let's get started with number 1. Important phrasal verb number 1 is to account for. Take a look at these 2 sample sentences. I think the cold weather accounted for the low attendance at the game. I can't account for the missing money. I don't know where it went. What do you think this means? It means that there is an explanation or a cause. So what is the explanation for low attendance at the game? Well, it's that it was cold weather. People didn't want to sit outside in the cold weather. Do I have an explanation or a cause for the missing money? Nope, I think I'm gonna be in trouble. Phrasal verb number 2 is to act out. The child acted out when her mom wouldn't give her any candy. Or we could say, she was so hungry that she started to act out. What does this mean? It usually means that you start to act in a disruptive way. For a child, maybe that means that they start hitting something or yelling or pulling on you. It's really not a good thing to act out. Phrasal verb number 3, to act up. Take a look at this. He always used to act up in class, but guess what? Now he's a doctor. Or you could say, oh, my car battery has been acting up. I think I need to get a new one. Do you think this is a good thing or a bad thing to act up? Well, it's not a good thing. Just like to act out, this means to cause trouble. He used to cause trouble in class, but somehow he got his life together and now he's a doctor. Or my car battery is causing trouble. I think I'm gonna have to get a new one. To allow for. When you create a budget, you should allow for emergencies. I didn't allow for traffic this morning, so I think I'm gonna be late. What does this lovely phrasal verb mean? It means that you're taking something into consideration. When you create a budget, you should think about, you should take into consideration some emergencies that might happen. When you commute to work, you should take into consideration traffic, or else you'll probably be late. To answer for, you will have to answer for your actions someday. He had to answer for his crimes. Ooh, this sounds very serious. And it is. It means to be held responsible for something. If he is a criminal, he has to answer for his crimes. He has to be held responsible for his crimes. On a less serious note is the phrasal verb to apply for. My parents encouraged me to apply for every scholarship possible. Or you could say, even if you don't meet the qualifications, you should apply for the job anyway. What does that mean? It means that you're making a formal request. You are trying to get a scholarship. You are trying to apply for the job, to get the job, a formal request. I would like this job. To back down. The stray cat wasn't going to back down. He was ready to fight. Or you could say, when she knew that she wasn't going to win the argument, she decided to back down. What does this mean? It means that you are withdrawing your position. So for the cat is not withdrawing. The cat is ready to fight. But, you know, if you're not going to win an argument, you can withdraw and say, I'm done arguing. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Maybe you're right. You can back down. A similar phrasal verb is to back off. You can say, I could tell he was getting upset, so I decided to back off and give him some space. Or, they decided to back off their threats after someone called the cops. Do you get a similar feeling here? This generally means you're becoming less aggressive. They are backing off their threats. Maybe someone's arguing in the streets. When they hear that someone called the cops, well, it means you should probably chill out a bit, back off, and, you know, go about your daily life. To back out of. This is a 3-part phrasal verb, back out of. You could say, they decided to back out of the ceasefire agreement. Or, she decided to back out of the vacation plans when she realized how much it costs. This means that you're withdrawing from something that you previously agreed to do. So 2 countries agreed to have a ceasefire agreement, and then they said, we're not going to do it. So they backed out of that agreement. Or maybe this person said, yep, I'll go on that vacation, and then she realized how expensive it was. So she's going to withdraw that agreement. No, I'm not going to go. It's too expensive. The last back phrasal verb is to back up. And you could say, you need to back up. You parked way too close to me. Or, everyone back up. Give me some space. So here we're talking about physically going backwards. And you'll hear this a lot in crowded places. Back up, everyone. Back up. Someone's coming through. To bank on. Clark is banking on his holiday bonus this year. Or, he is banking on her saying yes to his proposal of marriage. Ooh, what does this mean? It means you are basing your hopes and dreams in something. So he has his hopes and his dreams tied up in her saying yes to his marriage proposal. He's banking on her saying yes. Or maybe poor Clark has already bought Christmas presents for his whole family, even though he doesn't have enough money. So he is banking on his company giving him a holiday bonus. I hope they do. To boil down to, this is a fun one. You can say a successful organization boils down to trust and leadership. Or in politics, it all boils down to who has the most money and power. We use this phrasal verb when we're talking about a summary of things. So a good organization, yes, there are many moving parts, but what are the key elements? We can summarize by saying trust and leadership. And unfortunately for politics, what is the summary of politics? Money and power. It boils down to those 2 things. To block off. The police had to block off a few streets while they were clearing the wreck. Or you could say, I need to block off a few hours in my schedule so that I can study English with Vanessa. This means that you are separating or closing something. It could be physical, like the street. The police closed the street. Or it could be a little more metaphorical, that you are blocking off. You're separating some time in your schedule. And you say, this is the hour that I will watch Vanessa's phrasal verb lesson. Great. To blow up. Don't blow up at me. I told you this would happen. Or you could say, don't light a match near the gasoline. It'll blow up. One of these is more figurative, one's much more literal, but this means to explode. So yes, if you have a match near gasoline, there will be a big explosion. Do not do this. But we can also use this for people. So in my first sentence, I said, don't blow up at me. This means don't get angry at me. I told you this would happen. To blow off. Do you remember this from the beginning of this lesson? We could say, I really just wanted to blow off work today and go do something fun. Or she didn't even say hi to me. She just blew me off. So rude. What does this mean? Well, it means that you are ignoring something, usually a responsibility. So it's not a good thing. If you are ignoring your work, you are blowing off your work. And don't blow off a friend. Instead, you should pay attention to them, at least say hi. She just blew me off and didn't even say hi. The goal of her. To blow over. I'm waiting for the storm to blow over before I go on a hike. Once the argument blows over, we'll be able to come to an agreement. This phrasal verb means to go down or settle or just go away. Once the storm goes away, I can go on a hike. Once we stop arguing, well, we can come to an agreement. To be blown away. She was blown away by how amazing the artwork was. I'm blown away by how much money we raised for charity. This means to be shocked by something. I can't believe we raised so much money for charity. I'm blown away. To break even. They thought they would make money on the sale, but they just broke even. Once we account for the cost of materials, we will break even. This means that you don't gain money and you don't lose money. You just break even. Notice that irregular past tense verb, broke. Once they finished the sale, they broke even. They didn't make money, they didn't lose money, they just had the same amount of money. To bring up. Don't bring up her ex in conversation. It's still a really sensitive subject. He tried to bring up the possibility of a raise and his boss just blew him off. What does this mean? To bring up means to mention something. He tried to mention a raise, and did his boss listen? Nope, his boss just blew him off. To call for. This recipe calls for chicken, but I'm using pork instead. Or this wonderful fixed proverb, desperate times call for desperate measures. What does this phrasal verb to call for mean? It means require. So if you're having desperate times, maybe your house burns down, you lose your job, well, you are going to have to do something. You will be required to do something desperate. Maybe you'll have to take a job that you would have never taken before because you're desperate. You need money, you need to find somewhere to live, so you're gonna have to do something desperate. It is required. This phrasal verb is often used in recipes. So like my first sentence, the recipe calls for chicken. Or you could say it calls for 10 milliliters of whatever. But this is a phrasal verb often used in recipes. To call on. They called on all the available staff to help with the event. Or you could say, I know I can always call on her when I need something. This means that you're asking someone to do something, usually a little favor. I'm calling on my friend when I have something that I need. To call out is quite different. You could say, he called me out for eating the last cookie. Or the politician called out his opponent for lying to the people. This means that you're pointing out or denouncing some kind of problem. So, sorry, I ate the last cookie. And he says, hey, you ate the last cookie. Everyone, Vanessa ate the last cookie. He is calling me out. This often happens in politics, that a politician will call out someone else and say, hey, he lied to you last year. Don't vote for him this year. To carry over. For anything that didn't get done today, you'll need to carry it over tomorrow. Or you can say, if you don't pay your bill this month, it will carry over into the next bill. This means that you're just transferring something to a later point in time. If you don't pay your bill, well, it's not going to go away. Instead, your bill next month is going to be double because you'll still need to pay the last bill. To check out. Did you check out that article I sent you? I thought it was pretty interesting. Or you can say, I'm gonna check out the new bookstore. I wonder what they have. And this means that you are investigating something. You're reading an article. You're checking out the article. You're checking out the bookstore. You're investigating what's it like there. You're checking out something. To check up on, another 3-part phrasal verb, check up on. You can say, I need to check up on my grandpa because he has the flu. Or, the kids seem mysteriously quiet. I should check up on them. And this means you're seeing if someone is okay. Is my grandpa okay? He has the flu? Are the kids okay? They're too quiet. To come around. I know you don't agree with me on this, but I think you'll come around. Or you can say, I used to not like sci-fi movies, but I'm starting to come around. What do you think this means? This means that you're changing your opinion. Well, maybe now I kind of like sci-fi movies. I didn't like them before, but I'm coming around. To come after. That bear was coming after me. Or you could say, Dan, I swear, I thought that spider was coming after me. That's why I screamed. To come after means to pursue or to chase something. So that bear was very scary. It was coming after me. That spider was very scary. It was coming after me. To crack down on, and you can imagine from this hand motion, to crack down on something, maybe what this could mean. You might say, the police are cracking down on speeding through the neighborhood. Or you could say, the library is cracking down on people who lose or damage books. This means that they're enforcing a law more severely than before. Maybe the librarians are saying, I'm sorry, you can't check out any more books until you pay for the book that you lost or damaged. Sorry, but we have to crack down on that rule. To crack up, very different than to crack down on. You could say, my son cracks up every time he plays with our chickens. He thinks they are so funny. Ooh, a little hint. Or you could say, I know that TV show is old, but it cracks me up every time I watch it. And this simply means that you think something is funny. It makes you laugh. Notice the construction of that last sentence. The TV show cracks me up. We can split this phrasal verb with a pronoun like this. It cracks me up. Or if you think someone is really funny, you could say, you crack me up. You're always saying funny things. I love it. It helps my difficult days become brighter. You crack me up. To cut back on. I need to cut back on sweets. The dentist said I might be getting a cavity. Or you could say, I really need to cut back on my spending and save more money. What does this mean? To cut back on something means you're reducing something or lowering something. I should eat less sweets. I should spend less money. I should cut back on spending money. Next is a fun one, to be cut out for something. I think she is cut out for teaching. She's just a natural teacher. Or you could say, I am not cut out for construction. I hate loud noises. This means that you're naturally good at something. So if someone is a naturally good teacher, you could say they are cut out for teaching. It's almost as if the universe used some scissors and cut them into the perfect shape of a teacher, or the perfect shape of a mother. This is what you were meant to do. You're naturally good at it. And you know what? I think you were cut out for learning English. So thanks for being here. To cut up. My son helps with dinner by cutting up the vegetables. Or you can say, I cut up the meat to put it in the stew. And this means you're using a knife or maybe scissors to cut something. It's a very straightforward phrasal verb, to cut up something. To fall for something. Be careful with this phrasal verb. You could say, I can't believe that you fell for that scam. They're just trying to take your money. Or, don't fall for his tough guy act. He's really a sensitive guy. This means to be deceived by something. So a company is trying to deceive you to take your money. It's a scam. Don't fall for the scam. It's not real. Or if someone is pretending to be tough, that they don't care about something, well, really, don't fall for that. It's just an act. Inside, they're really a sensitive teddy bear. To fall in with, we could say, my parents always warned me about falling in with the wrong crowd. Or you could say, I fell in with the protesters as I was walking down the street. This kind of has the sense that you're not in control, that something is just happening, that you're taking part in a group, maybe just kind of by accident. The most common way to use this is that first phrase that I used because parents often say this to children. Don't fall in with the wrong crowd. Don't accidentally get pulled in to the wrong crowd. This means mean friends, maybe friends who are doing drugs or doing something too risky. Don't fall in with the wrong crowd. Instead, make good friends. To fall down. Please don't fall down the stairs. Hold on to the railing. Or you could say, my stocks really fell down over the last quarter. What's this mean? Well, it means that something is decreasing, usually in a bad way. Well, of course, I don't want my son to fall down the stairs. I don't want my stocks to fall down. Instead, I want everyone to be safe and my money to be secure. To fall back on. This is an important phrasal verb. You could say, well, when I lost my job, I had to fall back on my savings. Or you could say, if you lose your job, well, you can always fall back on joining the circus. Maybe if you're really good at juggling something. And this means that you have a backup plan. Well, when you lost your job, you didn't have any money, so you had some savings. Or if you lost your job, well, you could do another career in the circus. Kind of unusual, but cool. To fall out. He left home after falling out with his parents. Or you could say, they had fallen out over whose fault it was, and now they don't talk to each other anymore. Do you get the sense this is a negative thing? This means that you had a disagreement and you just couldn't agree with each other in the end, so your relationship has been broken. We sometimes use the full expression to have a falling out. This is using this phrasal verb as a noun. Yeah, we had a falling out a couple years ago and I haven't seen him since. This is a breaking of a relationship. To fill in. You need to fill in the correct answers on a test if you want to get a good score. Or you could say, oh, you missed class yesterday? Don't worry, I will fill you in. This means that you're putting some information somewhere where there wasn't information before. Maybe it's on a piece of paper, or maybe it's in someone's mind. You're telling them what happened while they weren't there. Don't worry, I'll fill you in on what happened during class while you weren't here. A similar but slightly different phrasal verb is to fill out. Don't forget to fill out every section on the job application. Or you could say, you need to fill out these forms before the doctor will see you. And this means that you're adding information to a form. Usually we use to fill out for something larger. Fill out a section, fill out a form. And to fill in is just one line. You need to fill in each answer. You need to fill in that spot. The next phrasal verb is to fill up. I made the mistake of filling up on free bread before our meal came. Or you could say, I need to fill up my gas tank. And this means that you're adding something to it. I added too much bread to my stomach. I need to add some more gas to my car. I need to fill up the gas in my car. To give out. They were giving out free samples of cheese at the grocery store. Yum. Or you can say, I like to give out presents for Christmas. It's so fun to see people's reactions and think about if they'll like it or not. This means that you're distributing something. They were distributing free cheese samples, and I like to give out presents. I like to distribute presents at Christmas. To give up on, kind of a sad phrasal verb. I give up on eating healthy during the holidays. There's so many good things to eat. I just can't stop. Or we could say he didn't want to give up on his team, but he knew that they definitely would not win. This means that you are admitting defeat. There is no way that I can eat healthy during the holiday season because there's just too many sweets and yummy things to eat. Or you're admitting defeat that my team will not win. I'm just giving up on my team. Kind of sad, but it happens. To give way. Be careful, don't step on that floor. It might give way. Or you could say, I'm worried that that old bridge might give way before they repair it. And this means something is collapsing or breaking because of physical stress. Don't step on those old floorboards. They might collapse. They might give way. To hang on. We're not talking about physically hanging on. Instead, we can say, hang on, I'll be right there. Or if you want to hang on a minute, I can walk with you to the park. And this simply means wait. If you're willing to wait a couple minutes while I finish what I'm doing, I can walk with you to the park, and it might be nice to go together. To hold out. He's holding out on buying a new car because he thinks he can get a good deal somewhere else. Or you could say the troops held out the attacks because they knew that reinforcements were on their way. This means that you're waiting, but there's also a kind of nuance here that you're hoping things will get better. You have an expectation that the future will be better than now. So he's not buying any old car that he sees. Instead, he's holding out. He has hope in his heart that there is a better deal out there somewhere. The troops are not just giving in to the attacks. Instead, they're holding out because they know reinforcements, more troops, are coming soon to help them. To hold up. The weather is holding up our project that we were trying to do outside. Or we could say, the wreck held up traffic for hours. This is talking about a delay. Well, we couldn't do our project outside because it was delayed by the weather. Or the traffic was delayed by the wreck. The wreck held up traffic. A beautiful phrasal verb to use. All right, we have 4 phrasal verbs left. Are you ready? The next one is to keep off. The sign says keep off the grass, but everyone is ignoring it. Or you can say, I wear a sun hat during the summer to keep the sun off my face. And this is talking about avoiding touching something. Avoid touching the grass, and I don't want the sun burning my face every day, so I wear a sun hat to keep the sun off my face. The next phrasal verb is to keep on. I know it's hard to practice, but keep on practicing and you'll get better. Or you could say, my dad always told me to keep on keeping on. This is a fun fixed phrase that's supposed to encourage someone. And how can it encourage someone? Well, this phrasal verb means to continue doing something. So continue continuing, keep on keeping on. And that's my encouragement for you. Some days learning English will feel great. Yes, this is so fun. I got this. Oh, I watched a new lesson. Oh, I spoke with someone. But some days it's not gonna feel like that. Some days you'll be in a slump. You'll feel discouraged. So my advice for you is keep on keeping on. Continue and continue. Don't stop. Even just do a little bit. Listen to a song. Watch a little video. Maybe just take a deep breath and encourage yourself in English. Keep on keeping on. To keep up with. When we go running, I can never keep up with my friend. She runs so fast. When I went to the new college, I could not keep up with the professor. His ideas were just way over my head. This means to move at the same rate as someone. It could be physically, like keeping up with a friend while they're running, you're at the same pace, but it could be intellectually as well. So if you watch an English movie or TV show and it's just boom, boom, boom so fast, you might say, I cannot keep up with that movie. It is too fast. So this is not moving at the same rate as what you can understand. It's moving too fast. And our last phrasal verb is finally here. It is to keep to yourself. My neighbors just kind of keep to themselves. Or you could say, when you're sick, it's a good idea to keep to yourself so that other people don't get sick. Do you get the sense for what this means? It means to be private. My neighbors are pretty private. They don't really talk with other people. But when you're sick, you probably should be private and stay to yourself. So note that this word has to match with the subject. My neighbors keep to themselves, or you should keep to yourself. Those need to match when you use this phrasal verb. Well, congratulations! You have learned these top 50 phrasal verbs in English. And if you feel like this is too much to remember, well, remember that learning new vocabulary in English boils down to keep on keeping on. You have to continue practicing to remember them, and you can do it. And now I have a question for you using one of these fun phrasal verbs. I want to know in the comments, what is a job that you are not cut out for? So for me, I would say, I know that I am not cut out for being a paramedic. There's just too much stress and too much blood. I can't handle it. I am not cut out for being a paramedic. What about you? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to download the free PDF worksheet for this lesson. It's a big one. All of the phrasal verbs, all of the definitions, all of the sample sentences and ideas we talked about today. Plus you can answer Vanessa's challenge question at the bottom of that free PDF worksheet. You can click on the link in the description to download that today. Well, thank you so much for learning English with me, and I'll see you again next Friday for a new lesson here on my YouTube channel. Bye! But wait, do you want more? I recommend watching this video next, where you will learn a very important difference between to break and to break down. Don't mix them up. I wonder what the difference is. Well, I'll see you in that video to find out.